I am talking to Jim Martin, who is a flying judge here at Top Gun, and he's going to explain a little bit about what he looks for as a judge as he's watching these pilots fly their planes. So what do you do, Jim?
Well, the first thing we look for is to make sure that the pilots are flying the aircraft in a prototypical manner. If he's flying a jet, he needs to fly like a jet pilot would be, not doing really steep turns, not flying it around like a model. We need the aircraft to look more like the full-scale versions. So if he's...
They go through and they tell you what maneuvers they're going to do prior to flying, don't they?
That's correct.
Now every pilot, do they fly the same maneuvers, or they fly prototypical maneuvers for the plane they're flying?
Right. Each pilot picks out the maneuvers that the aircraft is capable of doing, and then they have to perform them. They tell us how they're going to perform the maneuver, and then we look to see if they perform the maneuver the way that they've told us they're going to do it. And we also, a lot of us, our judges, have a background in full-scale flying, been to a lot of air shows, so we know how a lot of the full-scale airplanes actually fly, and so we can determine if the modeler is actually recreating the flight pattern of their model to match the full-scale.
I noticed on the flight line something I didn't know what was going on. I noticed the pilots were holding up their planes and you guys were watching the retracts come down. What was that for?
If the modeler elects to have the retracts as a mechanical option, we look at the operation of the retracts prior to the flight, and we check to make sure all the gear doors operate properly, they close and open properly, no big gaps, the gear doesn't hang part way down when it's up, and basically the timing of the retracts. So we don't want pneumatic retracts just slamming up and down real quick, because that's not scale, that's not prototypical of the full-scale aircraft.
As the pilots are performing their maneuvers, what are some of the things that would deduct out of the maneuver? What are some of the things you take off, or what don't do?
The biggest mistake that we see most of the pilots making is not centering the maneuver on the judges or right out in front of us, like it requires in the rule book. A lot of the contestants don't really read the rule book to know how the maneuver is supposed to be performed. So that's one of the biggest mistakes, is not centering the maneuvers where they're supposed to be, unless for some reason they want to offset the maneuver to one side or the other. Maybe the sun is going to be in their way if they try to center the maneuver, so they can offset the maneuver as long as they tell us prior to flying that they're going to offset it one way or another.
Thanks, Jim. We appreciate everything you do out there.
Okay, thank you.